Let's take you back to our report by our correspondent Celestina Iria.
Nigeria has a rich history of youth protest. Nigerians' independence movement even started as a youth protest. But this particular protest stemmed from the spilling over of the bottled-up anger of many youths of the country over unfair profiling and harassment by the operatives of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS. Their grievances found an outlet in the protest movement, which started with no defined or central leader.
It was a spontaneous reaction of Nigerians against state brutality and insensitivity in dealing with its citizen. So it was obvious that Nigerians were tired of the way police handle, the way the military officials treat them on the street.
The protesters' demands at the beginning were straightforward. The federal government should abolish SARS, provide justice for victims of police brutality, and also reform the Nigerian police. As the protest unfolded, the demands widened, premised on the failure of the government to deliver equitable economic prosperity for its citizens, especially disgruntled youths. In particular, in addition to the calling for law enforcement agencies to respect the rule of law, youth began demanding more respect for human rights and a deepening of democracy. The protesters also demanded the revival of educational and health systems and stronger efforts towards job creation. These protests brought about the resourcefulness of the youth and how far they could go to make their demands known. It attracted global attention and the federal government was forced to sit up. In summary, the message of the #EndSARS protest was that young Nigerians wanted the government to include them while making policies that involved them. A 7-point agenda was submitted by Governor of Lagos State to President Muhammadu Buhari on behalf of the protesters.
The President graciously accepted the letter that was given to me by the youth to personally deliver to him.
Most of the agitators were apparently silent at that time. They were victimized, they were harassed on the road. But then, we still have a vast majority of youth that are still clamoring for the same thing. And that is because the thing is now generating into an idea. And when it has become an idea, even if you kill those who originated the idea will live after them.
The discontent amongst youth were already simmering, given economic crisis sparked by the fall in global oil demand and compounded by the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. The foregoing coincides with 8 months closure of educational institutions due to the strike embarked upon by university lecturers, leaving young people alienated and angry. The National Bureau of Statistics says, as of the second quarter of 2020, the unemployment rate in Nigeria stood at a staggering 27.1% and the underemployment rate at a 28.6% of the 21.7 million underemployed young people aged 15 to 34 accounted for 34.9%. They also accounted for 28.2% of the 22.9 million underemployed Nigerians.
It's not just about SARS alone. It's about the fact that people are asking questions as to the responsibility of government. And so what led to the protest is the failure in governance, the disappointment of people in government, and of course government institutions.
The #EndSARS protest became a symbol that opened the path for marginalized Nigerian youth to vent bottled up anger and grievances against the government. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.